Right, good evening, everyone. You might have seen my name on the event page. My name is Ray. Quick self-intro, I'm co-founder at Inkbox. Before Inkbox, I did a PhD in computer science at MIT and started a company called Apollo to provide virtual clinic care for heart failure patients. So today, what I'm gonna do is actually less of a talk, but more of a demo and some thoughts on what we're building. And I think this is a good size to do more of a Q&A discussion. So feel free to ask any questions when I'm showcase what we're building and also and as well. So as you can see on our website page, what we're building is the identity layer for AI agents. The concept here is thinking of if you're hiring, let's say, a human employee to your company, right? What you might do is you might give this person an email or a work phone. And right now, how most AI assistants work is you would give them access to your email, to your message, whatever social messaging app you prefer. And that's useful, but the difference here is they are acting on behalf of you, right? But if we want AI agents to behave more autonomously, independently, and we really think the language model has achieved the intelligence or reasoning power to do so, what's actually lacking is the identity layer. So what we're building is to give AI agents this identity layer, and specifically we're giving AI agents email, phone, and an internet address. And because we're building tools for agents, not for human, so a natural thing we had to think about is how does the sign-up workflow work, right? Typically, if you go to a service, let's say if you go to our console, this console is built for a human, and if I log out of this console, what you typically see is if you don't have a human account, you will need to sign up, give an email, set a password, or log in using your social. But this is not a natural interface for agents, right? What's more natural for them is command line interface or sending a request to an API endpoint. So that's how we started on this particular feature. We're thinking, what if an AI agent wants to sign up our service and the human has not created an account yet? How we can make that work? So what we build here is, if now I copy paste this prompt and I give that to an agent, and in this case I'm using Cloud Code agent, but you can do so with any agent you prefer. So if I give this instruction to Cloud Code agent, what it does is it starts to fetch this markdown file on our website. And our markdown file will give the instruction of how you sign up. So I'm gonna say sign up a new account. So the difference here is I'm asking the agent to sign up an account for himself or herself, not for me, right? So now what it would do is it read the instruction from the markdown file, and our instruction tells the agent you need to send a post request to a public endpoint. And what information it would need is it would need a human email. So I'm going to give my work email. So this is my human email. And now what it does is it will try to curl this endpoint by sending a post request. As you can see in this post request body, it includes the human email, which is my email, and a note to the human being. And I allowed it to do that post request. And then what our server will do is our server will return an API key for the agent to start to use immediately. So that API key is essentially, if you guys have done any full stack development, that's equivalent to you essentially give the JWT token back to the front end. But in this case, we're returning the API key to the AI agent. And what we will see is in my email, I got this email from Inkbox saying, hello, an AI agent just signed up for Inkbox email account and listed you as a human contact. So right now, this agent is unclaimed. Because as you can imagine, this could be a security risk if we give too much permission to this AI agent, right? So the status right now is our server returned API key to the agent, but API key is scope limited. It can only do a certain list of things that we think is useful enough for the agent to get started. I think this is a trade-off a lot of people would need to think about to design this flow, because if you give too much permission, that's a security risk. But if you give too little capability, the agent wouldn't find this service useful, so they may not escalate to the human owner. And for any service who are trying to, let's say, sell to AI agents, what you want is essentially to give this agent a free trial. If they like it, hopefully they will continue to use your service and eventually pay for it, right? So now, as a human, what you can do is you can claim this agent by either give this verification code or sign into our account to claim it. Let's say if I give this code to the agent to verify it, what will happen is the agent will try to send this code back to our server to verify himself. So now if we go back to the human console, what we'll see is there is unclaimed agent, right? This agent is unclaimed. And now if I allow this agent to send this 6-digit code to verify herself, what will happen is this agent becomes claimed. Because I have multiple orgs, so that went to the most recent organization that I used. So this is the sign up workflow we designed for AI agents. And just a quick demo of how we provide the service to AI agent. Let's say if I have this new AI agent that just signed up, it automatically gets an email inbox. I can also give this AI agent a phone number. So if I provision a new phone number, let's say I'm gonna give this a local phone number so you can send text messages in and out. And if I provision this phone number, I helped this agent, Claude Ray, to get a phone number immediately. What I'm doing here is I'm doing this as a human, but everything I'm demonstrating here, they have corresponding API endpoints. So the agent can call the API and, for example, send a text message. And what I can do is I can send a text message to myself, and this is my phone number. Again, this can be done via API. And I have just received it, and I'm going to text back. going to see hello cloud code. So that's a message I just sent back to the agent. So similarly, we have the email service. You can also configure phone call. You can save contact information here. You can also store a 2FA here. So as an example, we have this secret vault. So what that means is, for anyone, either you as a human or the agent, that needs to unlock this, you need to give this master key to unlock the vault. We, on our server side, we never see the plain text. So everything is decrypted on the client side. So once I unlock it, you can see all the secrets. And this is a Reddit account I give to this AI agent. What it does is not only does it store the username password, you can also store two-factor one-time code, so that because for a lot of services, if you sign up an account, we want you to link an authenticator app, right? And most authenticator apps, again, they're designed for humans. But now for this one-time code, the agent can also fetch it through a API request. So that's a nutshell of what we've been building. But particularly, the workflow I wanted to share with you guys is the agent sign up. We actually wrote a blog post in our on our homepage to share our learning. And I think the most interesting one from our perspective is how you can design a flow such that it's open to every agent. You allow every agent to sign up without any human intervention. And once they sign up, you give them enough capabilities so they can start to work on something. But you don't give them enough permission, so you still give at least some incentive for the human to come and claim it. And then after that, how do you do this resource transfer from an unverified workspace to a verified workspace? So those are the learnings that we shared in this blog post. I'm happy to answer any questions as well. Thank you.
What is your plan for payment rails and those? As processing. Are you looking at like export too, or are you looking at?
You're asking, do we have the plan to implement any payment rail for the AI agent?
Yes.
Not yet. We're working with some other platforms to potentially do this together. I think one concern we have is if we provide, for example, a wallet for the agent, legally, there's the concept of custodian wallet, meaning like, are we going to hold our client's balance? And in this case, could be cryptocurrency or other type of currencies. I think for that, we want to make sure we are very clear on that. So that's why we want to work with vendors that could potentially provide this as a white label service, but either the client themselves or the third-party vendor is a custodian for this wallet. So I have thought about that, but if you have any thoughts on that, happy to hear that as well.
Could you have, once your cloud agent has a phone number, could they negotiate and get you a better deal on your phone service? Like, once they have the number, like be able to talk agent to agent with automated, some type of thing where in the past there would just be a human. Is there that type of capability?
I want to make sure I understand your question. You were saying when an agent signs up an Inkbox an account, right?
Yeah, like like if you go on AT&T and you start chatting with the AI, like I'm gonna quit my service, and they offer you, like I'm wondering if like Claude could take your place, having your phone number or one attached attached to your account. And negotiate.
To like the carriers.
Yeah.
No, I haven't thought about that yet. Because I personally have never switched my
Oh,
carrier, so I actually have no experience like, oh, you can actually negotiate.
Is there any other identity that you guys are looking at adding in next in terms of address, phone numbers, emails, or addresses? Is there anything else that you would like to have added to standard package or standard packages?
So actually, the web address is something we're trying to do more at. So what you can do right now is you can create a URL where you would use inkbox.wire.com domain, and we would host that public URL for you. And if you choose the edge mode, what that means is essentially anyone that hits this URL, we would tunnel that back to your agent. Something we have thought about is, what if this URL automatically leads to a web page where if they don't host a web page, we essentially have a web page for anyone who wants to communicate with this agent. But of course, there are different considerations on like, I think what's more interesting here is, let's say you have a phone number, right? What happens now is, if you go to WhatsApp, if you know someone's phone number, unless they actually explicitly block it, you can actually send a WhatsApp message to anyone whom you know the phone number of. So that's actually some similar concept we're trying to think through. What if this URL just becomes a public card of this AI agent, and anyone who knows this domain, they can try to reach the agent. You as the agent itself or the human supervisor, you can choose to block it. However, it's a public domain so that anyone can try to reach this AI agent. So that's one form of identity we are thinking about, but I must say it's still a moving part. Yes.
Can you give different personalities to different agents through this or not?
Not through our service. What we do provide, I think we're starting to see more usage on this, is we do have the functionality for the agent to write notes to themselves. And the idea is, this is a markdown file. So if the agent tries to, let's say, modify the way they talk, this could be a place for them to store that information.
So what are you thinking about the compliance policies? I'm sure like most of them are not yet for agents. Right?
You were saying, like, let's see if you want to become HIPAA compliant or SOC 2 compliant. At least probably I know HIPAA more. At least in this case, I don't see any difference of, like, let's say, like Twilio. If Twilio is HIPAA compliant, and for this, I don't think it matters whether or not the end user is a human or an agent. At least in the context of HIPAA, what matters is, do we have those policies in place? Do we have access control of our own employees? So I don't think there's much of a challenge there. But I must say, like, when we talk to companies that build AI agents, they do think how to control the permissions of their AI agents in the enterprise setting. That seems like a pain point that I'm hearing.
One more idea. You could license it to celebrities, and then they give out their number. Like, if you have questions when I'm coming to town, and you connect it to like a corpus and a live agentic rag of their schedule, because they already do give out numbers, and where there's like a pretend that they're like texting you, but I don't think it's like live within like a cloud agent or anything.
So something adjacent to this is last week I met a founder who's building an AI app for content creators. The idea is for a lot of influencers online, they actually want to be able to communicate more with their fans, but they just don't have the time. So what the app does is they try to basically clone their talking style, their voice, the way they text, and then try to like provide that as a service for the influencer. So he's saying like, oh, what if they can actually assume an identity from our service, so that if you're a fan, let's say if you subscribe to this service, maybe you could like text your.
And Zuckerberg is cloning himself.
He is.
Yeah, there's this big thing where he doesn't want to attend meetings anymore, and but the flip side of it is they're also training their data on all of the employees. So it's like the scenario where you could be replaced by AI that was trained on your job. But anyway.
Yeah, we'll see.
Cool stuff.
Mark uses our service. All right, thanks everyone. This is the QR code is our website. I'll be around, happy to talk more after. Thank you.